depending on which statistics you believe. As I like to say, 98% of statistics are made up on the spot. The average site business spends 26 hours per week in meetings. If you think, Benny, that's not the case, we don't do that. Go on time, what you had. I remember I was on a site during COVID. One Saturday, 11-hour day, I had 10 hours of meetings actually booked in my calendar. 2 gaps of half an hour. And that was, I had to get between, I was working client side, get from the client building down to the contractor building, and then from the contractor building back to the client building. It was 10 and a half. I had 2 15-minute breaks. 10 and a half hours out of 11-hour shift booked into meetings. 91%, I don't know how they measured this, but this is stats that I've got from Christian Burkosis, and I always take the theory that I'll have a look around and see whether statistics make sense. 91% of those people in those meetings aren't even present. They're there, but they're not actually listening to what's going on. I don't know what Beep just said. Something did. Hopefully we didn't lose connection, which we don't seem to have. All right. Run a different kind of meeting today. This is called, we're going to do 2 meetings. One's the ORCA, which is a debrief. In fact, Christian Burkosis says that we need to get rid of the word meeting. I'll play that video for you tomorrow. So run the ORCA debrief, which we do at 14.4 minutes. We are objected to keep that to 1 objective, 1 cause, and 1 action. The other one, as this one's called, is Operations and Intelligence Meeting, which is a meeting that General Stanley McChrystal brought into being in Afghanistan when he got there. And yeah, basically, well, not worse. There are way worse complexities, issues to deal with than what we do on a construction site. So if it helped them sort out what they had to do over there, pretty sure it's going to work on a construction site. Anyway, let's get to it and give it the business. First of all, we're going to review our key metrics for the week. So let's have a look at mocks. And we're still on the wrong page. Construction school. All right. 116 members. Not actually a key metric. Our key metric is engagement. We did hit earlier in the week 28%. 26. We're at 26% for the month. Weekly, that's actually down 1% from last week. So we've got 26% is what we're counting, which is what we got today. Weekly, start climbing back up. You see that's good. And our daily is up and down like EAO. So we have to work on getting that fixed as well. The other thing we keep track on is discovery, because discovery tells us if we're doing a good job of engaging the community, we'll climb up the ladder. We're at 5,851. So let's have a look what that says against last week. Last week, our stats were, metric was 27%, so we're down 1%. And our rank was 5,705, Benny, 730. So 1, 2, 1. We dropped 121 places. We need to reverse that. Get more people in here that are actively engaged. All right, that's a review. So what have we been doing? This week I have put in place, I haven't got this into any sort of a training model to walk you through it just yet, but I discovered when I missed 2 days of live streaming last week. What are you doing here, Ben? You need to get back on this one. The issue could have been easily rectified if had I done another part of the flex process, which is the flex planning, and done my brief, which I didn't. So we're going to introduce that right now. So I've done one for this week because this week I'm traveling again. So I'm at high risk of not live streaming on certain days. So here is what the flex planning process has done for me. We've got way too much going on here. Here we go. All right. So the flex brief. Brief stands for big picture, reinstate the mission objective, identify threats and resources, execution, courses of action, and flexibility, which is our contingencies. So we did the planning session, the actual six-step planning session first, and this brief come out of it. So I run this brief every morning and then debrief in the afternoon. So the big picture is driving construction school toward 30k MRR, and my Masogi, which is to win the school games in my category this year. This actual week is about proving ORCA works at a site level, actually introducing it on site, not in theory, in practice. The content this week is the vehicle. The site relationships are the proof, whether it's worked or not. Reinstate the mission objective. Beanie, every piece of content this week creates a buy-in for ORCA at site level. By Friday, 17th of April, someone says to me, I want to run this on my site. That's the mission objective for the week. Identified threats. So the threats that I've identified is I'm going to travel Tuesday and Wednesday. It's long days, so it cuts my available time to be able to live stream. Could be intermittent internet on site, so that could be another thing that would stop me from doing the lives. I've got a planner board full of tasks which are ambiguous, no clear definition of done, and they've also not been through a prioritization process. So full kit hasn't been verified. I don't know whether I've got everything that I need to do the tasks that I need to do this week. I don't know that I have the resources, and the people that I need haven't been synced up to say, are you available at these times to do these things? Resources I've got available to me is Claude, ChatGPT, and Copilot. The references that I use are Lead Made Simple, which is all about continuous or compounding improvement. Afterburner Advantage, which is all about our delivery mechanisms, how we plan, execute. And then Mastering Flow, which is about getting everything in sync. People on site, I'm only just getting to the site, so relationships are at an early stage, and trust building is a planned time block for this week. So the execution, the course of action, Sunday, I ran the flex planning process, identified the issues and mapped the week out, worked out where am I most likely to fail and what contingencies have I put in place to mitigate that. Monday, I've got to get through some inductions, triage, and prioritise all of that work that I said in that board. Should have had added to there, get the definitions of done, remove the ambiguity around what needs to happen on each task. And I've also worked out if I've written the posts already. Well, I haven't. GPT's written my Tuesday and Wednesday posts, and I'll create images for them so that if I do get time poor and I can't run the lives, I still have a post to go up in place. Even though it might not be the live video like I normally do, at least I'm going to continue the sequence. We're going to keep moving forward. Tuesday, Wednesday's on site, content scheduled to publish live if the internet holds. Thursday, full block out, focused on schedule. I've got 6 high priority items that I need to get working on. And Friday, of course, I use as my buffer day to catch up anything that I didn't quite get done during the week. So it will be continued the scheduled tasks, finish inductions off, and general cleanup. Red team, so my AI pulled apart what's shot holes in my plan. If the posts and images aren't pre-built before Tuesday and the content drops and the week objective is dead, which was to mission objective, every piece of content this week creates a buy-in for ORCA. So I'm going to miss that if I don't have that done by Tuesday. If I can't go live on Tuesday or Wednesday, the posts are already written, have the posts pre-written, images created by Monday afternoon, content publishes regardless. If the internet is intermittent on site, the pre-scheduled posts carry the week, and the lives move to Thursday or Friday. I do a double up. I'll do some extra live streaming later in the week. Lessons learnt carried forward that I've learnt from previous ORCAs. Travels costs more than just the travel time. Okay, so there's disruption either side of it that kills your momentum. New systems are slow. Starting with a new company, having to learn all those systems, how they do things. So that's slow. So I've got to put buffer time in for the friction that creates. And relationship building needs planned time block, not just squeeze it in around other work. It has to be prioritized. That is the key. Removing what 5 dysfunctions of a team, which is the bottom one, absence of trust. That is key to this whole thing working. All right. So we've run through what we did for the week, the brief. What else have we built? In construction school this last week, I've also built, I'm going to show you it right now, and we are going to test it right. One thing I did today is I've hooked Claude up to my Google Docs. So there's a lot of copy and pasting going backwards and forwards before. Wasted time and energy. Now, it took me, and Claude tried to actually talk me out of this. I had to send it to learn a little lesson. I said, go and research Paul Akers and Ryan Tierney about stop and fixing things. And Toyota. That's why Toyota's got that end-on cord on the line. Every time something goes wrong, someone pulls a cord and stops the whole line. It just said to me, it's quicker and easier if you just copy and paste across me. And I said, yeah, it's quicker and easier right now, but it's not long term. Long term, I want to be able to sit with you, give you the idea, you write the post, we assess the post, provide any feedback, say, yes, tick it off, that is the post, that's done. Then what used to happen is I'd forget to copy and paste it across the Google Docs, and then I'd carry on working with the GPT or the Claude or whoever it was, and then I'd have to spend, the next time when I went to find the post, where's that damn post? And I'd have to go scrolling back through, scroll a long way back to find the previous post that had been written in Claude. So that doesn't happen anymore. As soon as it's done, he puts it, I'll show you right now where he puts it. Go back to Mox. Claude goes across to the current week. As you can see, he's done it all here. So the flex brief, that one that I showed you before, is sitting in here. Live intros that I read out when I start the videos are all sitting there. That was actually a bit of a mistake. They're going to get put into each day from here on in. So there's today's post, day 140, 141, tomorrow's, Mondays, 42, Tuesdays, 43, Wednesdays. All sitting there, ready to go. I just got to go to my big ass year folder, select the correct week, and it tells me everything I need for my LinkedIn post is all there, pre-populated, ready to go. The other thing that we've built in construction school is this tool for stepping through the ORCA process. So I'm going to give it a run right now because I haven't even tried this yet. Start. What was the objective today? The objective for today was to test this tool out. That didn't work. What actually happened? I'm testing this tool, but it's not recording. All right, so we're going to have to go back to my old mate Claude and get him to fix that. So it's got a little clock in there, tell you how long it takes you to do your ORCA. What was supposed to happen was it's supposed to prompt you through the process, and that, when you tap that, it's supposed to allow you to speak to it. But, of course, because I didn't test it before we started, it doesn't work. So, we will go back and use our current ORCA process. Let me find. Too much tech going on here, Benny. I need a little Stream Deck. I'm going to get the Stream Deck soon, so I can just push the buttons, move from screen to screen, and get to where I need to go. Okay. Ready to debrief. Let's go. Welcome back. Another ORCA Live. April 12, 2026, 14.4 minutes. What was it? One, the objective. We're locking in exactly what we set out to do today. What was today's objective? Today's objective was to create the flex planning session with Claude and a runner session. Good objective, build a flex planning session with Claude. Did it happen? Yes, it did. What was the result? We ran the session and we've planned out the week, and we have also done my posts up until Wednesday because I'm traveling Tuesday, Wednesday, so it's a high risk area for me to fail and not do my lives. Transcription's poor at the minute. Good flex session done. Week plan post scheduled through Wednesday to cover the travel risk. This is not just hitting the objectives, that's flex process working. Exactly as designed. You identify the threat, mitigate it. Is there a gap anyway, or are we debriefing a win? The only gap is I tried to use the tool that we created before that we put into Notion to be able, for anyone to be able to run an ORCA anywhere they are, and the audio doesn't work. The gap is I should have tested it before I went live, and I need to go back and retest it, get Claude to have a look and see what the issue is so that it works. Tool wasn't tested before going live. The voice input failure discovered on air instead of in prep. That sits in the plan communication, which is where I always tend to fail. Specific standards and procedures. Testing before deployment should be a standard stat. One action, who does what by when. Beanie is going to, as soon as this session is done, find the culprit who wrote the Claude code and get them to rewrite it and test it. Let's see how well he transcribes. See if he knows it's me, Beanie. Beanie opens Claude immediately after this session, identifies the voice, input issues, gets code fixed and tested. That's the action. Let's do it straight after we close. 14 days, 14 debriefs. Flex is now the system. The week is planned, travel risk is mitigated, and the one gap, voice not tested before going live, has an action sitting right behind it. 2 weeks straight. That's the 1% compounding. See you tomorrow. You most certainly will. Take that, use it, make it a great week, and we'll give it the business again tomorrow if I can find. And I've got way too much going on here. Mocks, constraint, movement, join school. Try that one. There are 4 metrics that we're going to measure, which are going to give us a health check on our project. Project manager should be able to go to this and look at it. This is the thinking behind the way that I built this, is 1% of a 24-hour day is 14.4 minutes. So if we eliminate all of the waste, you'll need to come back to this screen back here. If we eliminate all of the waste, the 90% of waste that is in his day or is in the process of trying to mitigate the 12 causes of project failure and drive the 9 rules of project flow, we get rid of a lot of that. He should be able to, in 14.4 minutes a day, he can go to, back to here, look at his Trello board, look at his TAC plan, review the metrics for full kit, engagement, handoffs and constraints, and have an exceptional idea exactly where his project fits and where it's tracking on those things within 15 minutes. 1% of the day, of a 24-hour day. 14.4 minutes, he should be across everything.